This is the Marathon Handbook Podcast, and I'm your host, Michael Doyle, and I am joined, as always, by my runners of the year, Katelyn Tocci and Alex Sear.
So sweet.
Thank you.
And we are doing we're going to do our picks for who we think the runners of the year of 2025 are. And we'll also break down superlative performances in the trail ultra world, track as well, and anybody else that we think just really kind of stands out from last year. We're going to take a little trip down memory lane this year, guys. So much happened. 2025 feels like a 5-year year. If you're following me here,
and it's almost over, if you can believe it. We're halfway through November.
Yeah, I am nervous that something crazy is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. We're recording on Wednesday, November 19th, before we drop this episode on Thursday. So hopefully no one, runs a sub 2-hour marathon in Valencia, say in a few weeks' time. If that happens, we may have to do a little amendment episode, a little bonus podcast. But until then, these are going to be our athlete picks for this year. Before we get into that, we're also going to bring in our colleague Jessy Carveth, who covers all the news for us for our site. So
she has all the info.
We're bringing in a
very
ringer.
Close attention. We're bringing in a ringer. We're bringing in somebody who knows more about this stuff than we do to tell us how we're wrong.
I was confident I was going to kick the crap out of you guys with my pick, but Jessy, I don't know, man.
Sorry.
Okay.
So she'll join us after take a little break in a few seconds here. But beforehand, first things first. If you have a question for us, we are regularly taking on our audience questions. We do I was going to say quarterly mailbag, but it feels like we're going to do at least 8 mailbags a year now based on the amount of questions we get. But if you do have a question, we're going to try to take on a question or two almost every episode. You can email us at podcast@marathonhandbook.com. You can ask us anything. You can ask us for training advice. You can ask us for life advice.
I was going to say, careful with anything.
You can ask Alex for wedding planning advice.
I actually
Katelyn
have
for
answers
vacation.
now.
You do. You have
Yeah.
recent experience. Katelyn can plan your trip to Costa Rica in the springtime.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I don't know what I can give you. I can give you some we can do. I can set up a book club with you if you want. That's my offering. There we go.
A reading recommendation. Actually, that happened in the last mailbag episode. Someone asked for your reading recommendations, and you
I
gave.
would like to join that book club.
Yes. We can start
the Marathon Handbook Book Club.
For a long time, I've wanted to do a pod or a series of podcasts on the sort of canon of running literature, for lack of a better term, like the 5 or 10 most important books in running that everyone should read. I think I'm going to next summer we'll do that. That'll be our I'm
on board.
We'll assign some summer reading. So you can email us questions. You can send us a voice note, which is super cool. We got a couple of them already this week that we'll play perhaps in the next episode, where basically you can just something called SpeakPipe that we use. You just click on it and you can record on your phone or your desktop, and you just basically send us a voice note, which is a really neat feature. So what's going on, guys? We've got what's going on? How are you?
I know it's been so long. It's been like 2 weeks since we've been together. We're going to be together again in another week and a half.
That's right. Yeah. So we've got something called the running event coming up this year. It's in San Antonio, Texas. For those who are unfamiliar, the running event is basically like a big industry conference where every single brand, pretty much every single brand, I can't think of many that don't show up at this point. They bring all their product for 2026 and beyond and show us what's behind the curtain. So we get an advanced look, which is really cool. If you're a gear nerd, if you're a shoe nerd, it is heaven. But it's also a very intense and long few days for us because we're cranking out tons of content. So that takes place the first week of December. So we'll be there all week. So keep an eye on our channels for a landslide of content, particularly our YouTube channel. We are going to be pushing out our kind of first look videos of 2026 shoes. You're going to start to see like what Nike and New Balance and Asics and Adidas and Saucony, what they all have in store for us for 2026 and beyond. So that's going to be super cool. And we're all going to get together and do a whole bunch of fun stuff. What do you guys have? This is a dangerous question.
Boy.
So it's the end of the year. It's the end of 2025. Do we have goals and plans for 2026?
We're already starting to talk about that. Yes. My year next year it's coming together, and it's a bit of an eclectic year. You guys know how I like to kind of mix it up. So what I'm training for right now, which I think I may have alluded to in the last podcast, I'm training for a 10-miler in January road race.
Let's go.
Oh boy, lactate hell. I love it.
Exactly. I was looking for a 10K, which sounds even more terrifying, but I couldn't find one around here in Costa Rica for the date that I wanted to do it. So I chose this 10-miler in mid-January, and I am training very hard. I'm doing these crazy workouts of like all out kilometers, 800s, 600s, 400s, like sitting on the side of the track, panting with 4-minute rests after these all out efforts. And it's been really fun. But wow, when I finish those workouts the next day, I feel like I've fallen down 3 flights of stairs. Is that normal?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
yes, my 20s. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And you also get weirdly hungry. That's the thing that I forgot. I recently did a workout that was more intense and short than what I actually do. And it depletes you in a weird way. So yeah, you're sore, you're hungry, and it probably comes as a surprise to you who's used to these super long workouts, but it grinds you.
Yeah, like I'm so used to long, slow workouts, especially coming off the 100-miler. So for right now, my schedule is going to look like this. I've got that 10-miler road in January because I really want to work on getting faster. And so then February, I'm going to do a 25K. It's on the trails, but it's also short enough where you can still run pretty fast. It's at the end of the month. Then if I can get in with the lottery, I'm going to rerun my first 100-miler, which is the Vermont 100, which is in July, because I kind of want, I don't know, I want another one now that I ran Run Rabbit Run and it was such a challenge.
See, Alex, it's like running a half marathon, the 100-milers. The second you finish, you're like, oh, I want to go back and do that all over again.
No chance. But no chance. But my prediction, that 10K is going to make you faster over the 100-mile. You're going to surprise yourself.
Oh, I feel like this work I'm doing for the 10-miler and for the half, I feel like it's already making me faster, and it will all help. Like I know some people, they're like some of the old school thoughts where no, Speedwork doesn't help with ultras. It really does. And I think, David Roche is one of the people who does a lot of speed work and then has these like incredible 100-miler times. So there is a lot of evidence to show that it does. So that's kind of my plan. And then guys, in December, I would love to run CIM. So I'm going to take on another marathon. That's my plan.
Yeah.
Next December, 2026.
Next December, because I need my comeback after my disappointing Boston. I'm a what? Okay. I'm a planner.
You're a planner. You've got December 2026 already penciled in.
Well, I'm worried that these marathons are going to sell out. Don't you think?
They will.
Yeah,
CIM sold out quite early. So CIM, California International Marathon, really nice race. Comes at the very end of like the tail end of the fall season. So it's not even happened yet. The 2025 edition hasn't even happened yet.
No, it hasn't happened yet. It's in December,
Yeah, it's a great race.
So that's my schedule, guys. So I've got short, trail, 100-miler, and marathon, just to spice it up a little bit. What about you?
Kaylyn's
guys?
Going to the buffet. She's like got the poo-poo platter going on. She's going to have a little this, a little that. I'm surprised you didn't mention you're going to do like, middle distance on the track, I guess you
Still
are
time.
in practice, so.
Wait, aren't you going to do a High Rocks too? Isn't that going to happen?
Oh, gosh, I so wanted to do that last year, but there was no time.
There's no time.
The High Rocks is so specialized and so different. I'd have to change my entire training plan. So not quite yet. I haven't gotten there yet, but it's on my bucket list.
Right. Yeah. It's no longer just a sport in itself, or it's no longer just a hobby. It's a sport in itself.
Right. Exactly.
I think you'll be motivated for this year. Some of my favorite years have been while chasing like super different goals. That's cool.
Yeah.
My year is kind of split in two. So, okay. Michael, you and I talked a couple days ago about the prove it year or the all or nothing year, and I'll let you talk for yourself because I know you're envisioning something like that for 2026, kind of an all in, working hard type of thing. And I have a similar scenario, I think, for the first half of the year. So next summer, I'm getting married, as are all my friends. Like not together, but with different people.
But you're doing like one of those weird like group marriage things.
Oh yeah,
like
we're
like
everyone's
cult.
getting married.
You're all gonna get
together.
Yankee
Listen,
Stadium,
I start
1,000 marriages at the same time.
Careful with this stuff. I started watching Pluribus, and it's freaking me out. So
great show.
Great show, yeah, but weird collective consciousness stuff going on. So all summer will be weddings, including my own honeymoon. Yes, I'm going to run through that, but it's going to be hard to know how my body will respond to all this stuff and the lack of sleep and the parties, and that's fine. But this makes me super hungry for the first half of the year. I want to get into this wedding season with times and races that I'm super proud of. So I think I'm going to dial things up even more for the next 6 months. And there's a 100% chance that I try to PR in the half marathon.
Nice.
There's a 10% chance that coming out of this wedding season, I become twice as curious about the marathon. But we'll talk about that a bit later on.
That's
Welcome
right.
to the dark side.
2026 is the year of the drift towards the 26.2 gauntlet. I love it. I love it.
Potentially.
So yeah, so yeah, you're doing, you and I are taking a little trip separately, but I'll be there cheering you on in Philly on Saturday because you're running the half this coming Saturday, and I'm running the marathon on Sunday.
Hang out.
We're
gonna hang out,
definitely
right?
hang out. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going there on my own.
Yeah, and I'll be there to cheer you on and I'll film a little video of you as well. I'll help you put together one of your reels by being your videographer for you on the Saturday.
Lovely.
Nice. How are you guys feeling for your races this weekend?
Somebody pinged me the other day and was like, "Oh, good." Was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was like, "How's the taper going?" And I'm like, "Oh, the usual. My lower back is killing me. I feel like I've gained 50 pounds, and I forget how to run. We're good.
Yep.
So we're right where we want to be right now. So, no, I'm fine. Everything is well. I'm looking forward to this. I like the experience of running the marathon. I like the actual process of running the race, even if it's obviously extremely difficult thing to do. But yeah, Philly, I'm excited about. Philly's a great race. And so, so Alex, you've got Philly, then you're going to do Houston, and then we're going to talk you into running a marathon in the fall of you'll just join CIM with Katelyn in December 2026.
Oh, let's do it.
Hey, you know what?
So
we've
got that all sorted out. Put that in your calendar. I'll send you the invites.
Happen.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, could happen. Oh, I like it.
You could do it too, Michael. The three of us could run CIM.
I love CIM.
We could all
I'd love to do it.
Then we could all head to wine country after.
Sounds fun.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Right on
Michael's
the fields, hand
now.
in hand. I'm in. Yeah.
What are we talking about today on the pod? No, I'm just kidding.
What we're talking about this.
What
we're going to talk about our favorite Pinots from the Northern California wine region. Coming up next. No, I think I'm gonna do a spring marathon. I have to figure out which one.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was very inspired by my conversation with Nick Thompson. If you've not listened to it,
yes,
here's a shameless plug for listening to it. It was an episode. It was our last episode that we dropped before this one. So, an interview with Nick. Nick is the CEO of The Atlantic, and he wrote a fantastic book, The Running Ground, which is kind of a memoir. Talks about the history of running. Also talks a lot about sports science and specifically what he did in his 40s to become the fastest version of himself as a runner, which totally fascinated me. And it got me thinking about it. It got me thinking about all of the things that I don't do right, and if you're in our situation where, the three of us, we've been running a long time and for the case of three of us, like most of our lives at this point on some level, right? At least most of our adult lives for sure. And you think about all of the things that you know how to do correctly with running, there aren't many secrets anymore for us. There's not a whole lot to unlock, but there's there are things that we know we should do that we don't, or that we do poorly, or that we don't put an effort into because they're hard or we don't enjoy them. And putting it all together is doing all of those things. And we've talked about this before. I've talked about this on past podcasts. It's an obsession of mine, trying to kind of put all the pieces together in one season, or put most of the pieces together. So maybe this is just because like I'm right up against it with the marathon this weekend, and I'm like, oh, these are all the things I didn't do right. But yeah, I'm still motivated, and I'm excited about, and that conversation with him motivated me even further, because I was like, this guy pieced it together. He unlocked quite a bit, and I think I can do the same thing. So I'm fired up for it. And motivation is a huge factor, especially in distance running, right? So just got to find a race now.
And good. And fair plug. That was a really fun conversation to listen to. If you're an SNL fan, think of Bill Hader's character Stefan when he's talking about nightclubs and said, these places have everything. And then he goes on to list a bunch of random things that the nightclub has. Your conversation with Nick Thompson was a little bit like that. It went to places that I expected because I know the backstory. But if you don't know Nick Thompson's backstory, you'll kind of be blown away, and you'll probably have a couple good running takeaways too. So it was a fun one.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. And like you're saying, Michael, for me also being in my 40s, I was incredibly inspired. I was like, I can still do it. I can still PR. You're like, when I get to my late 40s, it's not over yet. I felt really motivated. So it was a great conversation.
All that sad stuff was completely unrelatable to me, but the rest of it was awesome.
He's like, I was just like, I'm just fast now. I don't have to worry about trying to figure it out in my 40s.
Yeah, no, that's not real.
Okay, so speaking of fast runners, let's take a break, and then let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. We'll talk all about who we think standout runners of the year are. We're going to do we're going to each reveal 3 finalists, and then we're going to argue in favor of who we think the men's and the women's runners of the year are right after this. Okay, bring in Jessy.
So last January, 2 weeks before the Houston Half Marathon, my coach made me do what he called the impossible workout. 30 minutes at threshold pace, followed by 1 kilometer of kicking, even faster. All of it at half marathon pace, which for me is about 4:56 per mile.
You had to slide that one in there, didn't you, sir?
My point is that running on frozen roads near my house in Toronto to do this workout sounded daunting, and going to some gym and running on a regular treadmill sounded even worse. Luckily, Michael had a Wahoo Kickr Run treadmill stashed in his home in northern Toronto, and so I took advantage of that last winter.
So that's why you kept coming over to my house all the time.
I mean, I also came for the company.
Sure.
And mainly for the Kickr Run's run-free mode, where the treadmill uses sensors to adjust its carpet speed so that it can respond to your running speed in real time. So it responds to you, and not the other way around. Now that was helpful for the workout's kick portion, so I could accelerate naturally without having to worry about pressing buttons all the time. The treadmill also comes with the lateral tilt feature, which will simulate the angles of running on a natural terrain. So every step is not the same, which is a good thing. And it's kind of like if you're running outdoors. And bonus, the Kickr Run connects with a laundry list of third-party apps, including Strava, the Wahoo Run app, and Zwift. So you can run free in Watopia.
It's quiet, simple, and effective. The treadmill follows you and not the other way around. It's available in the US, the UK, Germany, and Austria. And now you can get a free Headwind smart fan worth $319 when you order the Kickr Run from Wahoo Fitness using the promo code MHRUN. That's all one word, MHRUN. Take our word for it, as well as the professional athletes that use it, including ultra runner David Roche, triathlete Chelsea Sodero, Olympic gold medalist Cole Hawker.
And now, me!
And for the month of November, use that promo code and you will get 25% off the Kickr Run. That's a massive savings. So go to the link in our description to get your 25% off and the Headwind fan for free. All right, back to the show. All right, and we're back. And we have with us our news editor, Jessy, who is in parts unknown. Where are you? You're always on the move. Where are you right now, Jessy?
Right now I'm in Calpe, so I'm in like the south of Spain. I'll be here for a few months, so yeah, it's quite nice. Right by the sea.
Jessy and I were just talking yesterday about how we might send you over to Valencia to cover the marathon in a couple of weeks. So hopefully Valencia doesn't throw all of this out the window with incredible world record breaking performances. But again, if that does happen, we'll do an emergency podcast and talk all about it. And it's just more content. But for now, we're going to break down our runners of the year. We're going to separate it into men's and women's runners of the year. And this is how it'll go. We'll each take a turn sharing our 3 finalists. We'll do men's first, and then we'll do the women. And then after we each share our finalists, we'll reveal who our pick is, and then we will furiously debate and tell each other how the others are wrong and that we are right. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Alex.
Hello.
You're alphabetically you're first. Let's go with you first. Who are your 3 men's finalists for Marathon Handbook Male Runner of the Year?
Okay, so finalist number 1, new half marathon world record holder, Uganda, Jacob Kiplimo. Finalist number 2, the only man this year to win not 1 but 2 marathon majors, Sebastian Sawe.
Nice.
And finalist number 3, for having excellent entertainment value and storming back from a questionable disqualification at the World Championships to win the 5,000 meter, it's American Cole Hawker.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nice pick, Sear.
It's a little bit of a dark horse pick. I like that. I did not have him on my long list even. So good pull. Katelyn Tocci.
Yes.
Who are your 3 finalists?
Okay, so far I just have one in common with Alex. So
Good.
Sebastian Sawe is also on my list. I mean, come on, the London Marathon double, that's amazing. I actually think that if there's a runner who's going to break 2 in the marathon, I think he's a very great contender for it. So he's definitely on my list. Had a wonderful year.
Nice.
My second contender is Connor Mantz.
Connor Mantz.
Okay.
Connor Mantz.
USA. USA. Sorry.
Connor Mantz had an incredible year. He's just breaking American records left and right. Broke the half marathon record, broke the marathon record, came in 4th place in 2 major marathons, like fighting for those podium spots. I think he also set a course record in, is it Beach to Beacon? I mean, he has been like killing it the entire year. So he is absolutely on my list for runner of the year. And my third, I don't know if this is going to take you guys by surprise, is a trail runner, the all-famous Kilian Jornet.
Okay. Oh, Kilian Jornet. He's, the GOAT.
He did this crazy thing this year, which the States of Elevation, right? So he summited 72 peaks in the U.S. across Colorado, California, and Washington. And it was, I don't know, I mean, he did this in 31 days, and everything was biking from, peak to peak, not to peak, but from in between the different areas where he needed to start, the ascents. And so everything was done on foot or on bike. And it was over 5,000 kilometers, right? So we're talking over 3,000 miles in 31 days. And he climbed over 400,000 vertical feet. So I think that needs some sort of credit there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe just a little.
You just like unfurled that project that he did. And I'm like, right, that was really good. That was
kind of a
big
big deal.
Over 5,000 kilometers in 31 days. I think I'm just over that for a year, right? So
was
and
pretty
also
impressive.
all that crazy elevation. I love how the fact he's like, and then he cycled from one spot to the next. He didn't even take a car.
Yeah, it was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, so
those are my 3.
3 good picks. Jessy, who you got?
Anything new here, I guess.
That's
my
okay.
picks were Connor Mantz.
Thank you, Jessy.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had a sensational year.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, 2 American records, 2 4th places in the major marathons. Like, he's really bringing American distance running to another level. And then I have
Totally.
Jacob Kiplimo, and then I also have Sebastian Sawe. But maybe I can add a 4th contender to maybe add something new. And I thought of this as I entered the chat here, the podcast session. But I think we should give our own Marathon Handbook, Alex Cyr, some recognition. He ran after a sub 30 10K and a course record in Santa Barbara. That's a pretty decent resume for 2025.
Thanks, Jessy.
So
I'll send you your $100
because
after
I'd like
this
to add
pod.
something new. So I'd like to add Alex Cyr into the nominees.
Very
nice.
So am I officially in the running now? So now, Michael, you have the choice to also put me in your top 3 if you'd like.
I do have the choice. I do have the choice to do that. And my 3 finalists are I've got Seb Sawe as well. I wonder if anyone calls him Seb. I do now. Sebastian Sawe is, I mean, what a filthy year that was. Incredible. Actually, what an incredibly pure and clean year that was, because not only did the guy win London in a 2:02 and trounced an elite field that was an all-time list of stars, he then follows that up by winning Berlin, also running 2:02, and in advance of that did something I thought really compelling and maybe trend-setting, which is he subjected himself to this very rigorous doping protocol where he had himself tested constantly for weeks on end to prove to the world that, like, hey, I'm clean, which leads me to think that he thought a sub 2 or at least a world record of something below 2 hours and 35 seconds was on the table going into Berlin. Obviously, that race is now already developing like negative legend status of being like hot Berlin, because the temperature was in the mid to high 80s by the time the elite athletes were finishing. So it was really a tough day, but he ran like, okay, I just have this here, just to nerd out for a second here, guys. He was running sub 2 hour pace to open the first 10K of the race. And then he held on to a world record pace all the way through half. He split in 60 minutes and 16 seconds and finished in 2:02:16, which is, I think, probably maybe the greatest marathon performance of all time, if you factor in the conditions.
Of all time?
It's a very hard thing to do, I know. But
he was going for it. He was definitely going for it. And I swear, if it was not that hot and humid and just terrible weather, I really think he would have done something completely different that day.
I think so too. And so my second finalist, Jacob Kiplimo, set an astonishing world record in the half, which I think any other year he'd be just a lock for men's runner of the year, I would say, with just that performance alone. And then he followed that up by winning a really exciting Chicago marathon. He's super promising. Like, him and Sawe are the beacons of light in men's marathon running for 2026 and beyond. Then my third one, here's a little curveball for you guys. This is outside the realm of pure performance, and it's more about presence. It's more about influence. And
thank you, Michael. My goodness.
And that is
you guys are too kind.
That is another GOAT. Eliud Kipchoge is my third pick.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's because I think about this year, I think about 2025, I think about who had the biggest impact on, particularly on the marathon running scene in 2025. And beyond just performances, Kipchoge was at London, he was at Sydney, and then he showed up in New York. And he just his presence took over all 3 of these majors. And the fact that this New York was his swan song in terms of like top level elite marathon competition. It just felt to me like 2025 was maybe the last year that we're going to feel this magnitude of impact from the greatest distance runner of all time. So put him there as a finalist. Maybe it's a feel-good pick, but there we have it.
That still counts. I love feel-good picks, and you know it.
Caitlin's like, why didn't I pick Kipchoge?
I know.
I was thinking about Kipchoge, Michael. I was definitely thinking about it, but yeah.
But then you're like,
you didn't make Jessy's cut.
I thought Michael would pick him, so. But
there
then,
we go. Yes. Yeah.
Because I know Michael is a big Kipchoge fan, so.
Oh, he's a Kipchogeologist.
I'm going to miss him.
Yeah.
No, you won't. He's going to be around. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he's not.
That's a good point. We may actually hear more from him now than ever before. He'll be in our lives in a different way, I suppose. Okay. The moment of truth. I feel like I need to insert like a drum roll here. Alex Sear, who is your men's runner of the year?
Okay. You said any other year it would be Jacob Kiplimo. I say, why not this year? This was also a Kiplimo year. I agree with the names that you've all mentioned, every single one of them, as top tier talents in the world. However, Kiplimo's a cut above. You could look at it in two different ways. Race results. Who else is now the half marathon world record holder and also perhaps the most promising, including Sawe, the most promising marathon talent? And then if that's not quantitative enough for you, look at these world athletics points. So this scoring system that ranks performances across disciplines against each other. Kiplimo's half marathon time, 56:43, is the best running performance of all time, bar none. In middle to long distance running, Usain Bolt, 100 meter and I think 200 meter times are still ranked faster. But Kiplimo's time is the best ever. Now, you're opening a couple cans of worms, Michael, by choosing Kipchoge, because now I'm reconsidering two things. One, I'm not reconsidering my pick, but I'm thinking more about how I chose my picks. Are we talking straight up performance here when choosing our winners, or are we talking more about overall impact on the sport? Because if that's the case, Kiplimo's a bit of a gray area, and I'm not making that comment because of him necessarily, but I'm more so making that comment because of the people that he keeps around. His agent is Federico Rosa, who's been slapped on the fingers many times for having athletes under his stable who've doped. I'm going into this ranking, this conversation, applying the innocent until proven guilty thing, mentality. But yet I'm hoping that Kiplimo is clean. His circle's kind of weird, but as of now, his performance is incredible and I have to stand behind it. So he's my guy.
And by all accounts, a lovely human being. I mean, he seems like a very friendly, nice guy. That doesn't mean that, there's been no accusations and any evidence that the guy has been cheating, but it is not good that he is associated with Federico Rosa. And it should be noted every single time his name is brought up, just so that we sort of redefine how it is that we are policing this sport, really, because there's just not been enough accountability. Okay, so because I believe last year we did not select Ruth Chepngetich, and I think our pick from last year remains sparkling because we didn't pick Chepngetich. Yes. We didn't feel good about it, so we zagged.
She was on the
Jasmine
list,
Paris,
but she wasn't. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I think she was the consensus pick last year as well. And there we go.
Yeah, we made the right choice.
We made the right choice. Okay, Katelyn Tocci, who's your pick? Who you got?
All right. I am absolutely awarding Runner of the Year to Connor Mantz. I think that he
Connor Mantz.
Yep. Again.
Whoa.
Guys, he did more in 2025, in a U.S. men's distance running than I think any other runner has done. I mean, think Houston, think Boston, think Chicago. This guy has elevated the ceiling of American distance running. He not only has he smashed two records, right? One that was a very long-standing record, but he is showing runners, American runners, that there is more, that they can be part of the conversation. And I think that unfortunately, they didn't feel like they were part of the conversation for a long time, because you always have, and you see it in the results. You see the leaderboard, and then you see the American runner leaderboard. And I love the fact that Connor Mantz is breaking in and he's saying, no, I'm going to get on that podium. And he was just so close. And I think he's giving all of these runners a lot of hope. And they're seeing like, no, I can do this too. If Connor Mantz can do it, I can do it too. And so not only is it just the times and the records, but it's the motivation and the inspirational, like the inspiration and the charisma that he is able to showcase to other runners to be able to say, yes, you can. I can do it. You can do it too. And I really do feel that next year we're going to see Connor Mantz on a major marathon podium.
But he didn't do any cycling. I want more cycling.
He didn't bike from Boston to Chicago.
You thought I was going to
year?
choose Kilian?
I was convinced you were going to choose Kilian.
I love your rationale. There's no elevation gain in Chicago. Come on.
Yeah, what's his vertical?
I'm really inspired by what he was able to give to the running community in general. And I think, that's also part of it. And that's how I also chose. It's not just like all these wins. I didn't choose someone who just won, even though he did break records. I didn't choose someone who just won. I wanted to choose someone who's also like changing the game for a lot of runners. I think it's exciting. Yes, I know you guys thought I was going to choose Kilian.
That's an interesting pick, though. And you're making a compelling argument that I didn't really think of it through this lens, which is like, which athlete has lifted up a significant running country more this year? And it is true that it is empirical. When you look at the global data, especially in elite running of the kind of powerhouse countries, of course, you think of Ethiopia and Kenya at the top. You think of Japan. You think of Uganda. You think of Eritrea to some degree as well. But then the United States is right there. And in fact, Jessy and I were going back and forth on some data, really interesting data points about running trends, especially in elite running, looking at the top 100 performances in marathons around the world in the last number of years. And the United States has really really exploded in the last 5 years post-pandemic in terms of top 100 performances. And I would say Mr. Mantz is one of those people leading the charge in all of that. So it's an interesting argument. Connor Mantz, men's runner of the year. We're going to be
I surprised you guys. I actually thought accused of what?
Accused of being like an American homer there. That's like, that's a pick. Okay. I mean, he's on two of your boards, right? As a finalist, and he's your pick. So we have to take Mr. Mantz seriously here. Okay, Jessy, who you got? You got Connor Mantz as well? Who's your pick for runner of the year?
Do you have Connor Mantz actually?
Wow. No way. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay.
Thank you, Jessy.
Alex, we have a problem.
As soon as Katelyn said that, I was trying really hard not to laugh because Connor Mantz, like on my doc, is he's the runner of the year, because it's not just his performances. Like, for the first time in a long time, an American man is making the rest of like the marathon world pay attention. And the thing too is his year didn't really hinge on one race. It built from the start of the year with the half marathon record all the way to the end of the year in October with the American marathon record. So it wasn't a surprise in Chicago. Like, you could feel it coming. And I also just I like how fearlessly he also like races. He wants to be in the conversation with the best in the world. And he is doing that now. So yeah, my pick is Connor Mantz with Katelyn. So yeah.
So you know what? At first I thought like, what? Like, how can you have Sebastian Sawe finish first in two major marathons, Connor Mantz finishing fourth in two major marathons, and choosing Connor Mantz? But Michael, your intuition to put Kipchoge up on the list of finalists is cut of the same cloth, right?
Right. I know what you mean.
What did this person do for the sport? Mm-hmm. And I agree with both with Katelyn and Jessy that Connor Mantz has done a lot for the sport.
And
he's made things possible.
And if you think about it too, it's like, okay, if we're thinking about performance-wise and then also kind of like what they bring to the sport, I feel like Connor Mantz hits both of those notes the most out of any of the runners we've mentioned. You know what I mean? Like Kiplimo and Sebastian Sawe like really hit performance, and Kipchoge really hits what he brought to the sport, but I think Connor Mantz nailed both.
Nice, Jessy.
Man.
I like that.
Man.
Yeah, I really like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so
Michael doesn't.
I know Michael's pick. I feel it from miles and miles away.
The only way for me to sway the voting away from Mr. Mantz as our consensus pick is if I were to pick Jacob Kiplimo. But I can't do that. I can't in good conscience do it. My pick is Sebastian Sawe. And I think I already made my argument in revealing my finalists. But just when you look at these two performances, you look at London and then you look at Berlin. In the case of London, he really beats like maybe the best elite field ever assembled, full stop. And then in Berlin, he not only runs, I think, one of the best marathons in history, and also like just empirically one of the best marathons in history, because it's one of the fastest races in history. But he does so obviously in that extreme heat. And I think he is the next great runner. I think he is probably the shoe-in to break the world record and to be the first person to run under 2 hours on a legit course for the marathon. Of course, he hasn't done that yet. And I also think that he's being a bit of a trailblazer in terms of being really transparent about his training and being really transparent about the fact that the guy's not doping. So, and that could change the way elite athletics is approached in the years to come in order to get all of us to believe in these extraordinary performances. So that's why I think he is the runner of the year. However, Alex, we're outnumbered here. We're splitting the vote, and I feel like Mr. Man. What do you guys? I mean, I have been persuaded to accept a Connor Mantz men's runner of the year selection. What do you think, Alex? You're the
Yeah, I can't be swayed, but I will accept defeat. And I think that if 10, 15, 20 years pass and no one touches Kiplimo's 56-minute half marathon, this will age poorly, but also giving my congrats to Mr. Connor Mantz, who's a class act every time we meet him, even though we always play jokes on him. And I do think he's done an incredible amount for the sport, especially on the North American side of things. And he gives me the feeling that he's nowhere near done either. So this is an exciting and ascending career that we're talking about. So fine.
And he capped his year off. Sorry.
Oh, pacing his wife. No. Right?
He capped the year off by being a mensch and pacing his wife to her debut marathon, where she ran very well and ran in the 240s. So now we've got like Kylie Mantz as well is, maybe going to, try to run the U.S. Olympic trials qualifying time at some point in 2026. And then he, of course, perhaps injured himself doing so. So like he even sacrificed himself at the end of the year for his wife, which is very honorable.
For love.
For love. He did it for love. He ran a marathon for love.
And she won that marathon. And she won.
She did.
Right? I mean, amazing.
She did.
So there we have it. Connor Mantz, men's runner of the year. Our divisive pick, but nevertheless our selection. I love it. I love a hot take, and that is a flaming hot take right there. Okay, so let's take a break. When we come back, we will. I'm curious now. I want to hear who your picks are for women's runner of the year. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. I don't know how we're going to top that men's run of the year pick. That was a spicy one. Okay, so women's runner of the year. Let's go through our finalists first. We'll do finalists and then we'll reveal our individual picks, and then we'll have a battle royale for who we think the overall consensus pick is. We'll start again with Alex. Alex, who are your 3 finalists?
Okay.
Are you picking Connor Mantz? No.
So pick number 1, Kylie Mantz. No, I'm kidding. So here we go. Finalist number 1, she doubled at the World Athletics Championships, solidified herself as the best long distance track runner of the year. She's just 25 years old, hailing from Kenya, became the first woman to break 14 minutes over 5K, Beatrice Chebet. Finalist number 2. She stole the hearts of many people in France, a lot of journalists and random influencers, and then a ton of people all over the world in June when she made the brave attempt at becoming the first woman to break 4 in the mile. She did not do so. This is not why I'm nominating her. Mostly nominating her because the week after that, she doubled back in Oregon on the other side of the world and broke her own 1,500 meter record. Also one of the best World Athletics points-wise performances of all time. Went on to win gold and silver at Worlds. Faith Kipyegon.
Nice.
And finalist number 3, a little bit because she charmed me in New York at the press conference with her insane and funny quotes, but also because she's a machine who just doesn't quit and sets new limits for herself every time she enters a racing season. She's got a bronze medal at the London Marathon, a gold medal in Sydney, crashed and burned a little bit in New York City, but still finished 6th. And with a little bit more, would have been the first woman to ever triple podium at the marathon majors in just 1 year. It's Sifan Hassan.
Love her. Those are great picks, Alex.
Those are good picks. And she is
this is like what machine. I do, guys. Like, God.
Obviously, you should know.
All right, Katelyn, who are your 3 finalists?
3 completely different finalists. So this is going to be really interesting. Yeah. For number 1, I have a track star here. I have Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, who she is just a powerhouse, right? We've got 2-time Olympic champ, 400-meter hurdles. And what I love about what she did this year is she's just like, well, maybe I'll just stop breaking my own record in the 400-meter hurdles and try something different and run the 400-meter flat and win in the right. So she won that title this year. She had various wins in the Grand Slam track league as well. And just making that change from 400-meter hurdles to 400 flat. And I think she came, Jessy, you are the expert with our news here. She came very close to breaking the record as well, correct?
Yes, very close.
Yeah, very, very close. So, I mean, she just was like, I'm just going to switch up my event and still dominate. So anyway, so she is the first one on my list. Number 2, I have Tigist Assefa.
Nice.
To me, and I don't know if this is a hot take or a controversial take, but she, to me, is still the fastest and the best marathoner in the world. Because in my eyes, Ruth Chepngetich does not have the world record anymore because she was caught doping. I still like to take Tigist Assefa's world record. So to me, she still has that as something she's done in the past. And then this year, why does she stand out in 2025? Well, because of the London Marathon, she has now broken the women's only world record. She holds that with her performance of 2:15:50, if I'm correct. And then came in second place in the World Championships Marathon right before, and let me move into my third pick, Perez Jepchepchir. She is my 3rd finalist this year because of that gold medal in the World Championships Marathon. Her sprint finish, the way that she was gritting her teeth. I have never seen someone so ferociously win a marathon, and I thought that was absolutely incredible. So those are my 3 finalists for this year.
3 different
note,
finalists.
Just to pull a little bit of details there with Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, she has the number 2 all-time performance in the straight 400 meters. And we should also note that the world record was set in 1985 by Marita Koch, an East German athlete
Thank you for the specific data, Michael. Yes.
So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
That's
world
that's kind of what I was
record-ish
alluding
performance.
to.
Yes.
That was what I was alluding to with my world record comment.
Yes, good pick. All right, Jessy, who you got?
Okay. Well, similar to Alex, I also have Faith Kipyegon. Yeah, breaking 4, I think also from like aside from a performance standpoint, it did a lot for the sport. Like, yeah, a lot of people who aren't super familiar with track really engaged in the event, and I think that kind of brought it up a level. But then, yeah, also in Oregon with her 1500-meter world record and then her gold, silver in Tokyo, I think was, yeah, sensational. And then my next one, I think Michael will definitely feel this when I say it because he knows how much of a fan I am, but also Sifan Hassan. I've always been a massive fan of Sifan Hassan, so of course she's on my list, but not just because I'm a fan. She ran 3 major marathons, and yeah, Sydney as well was hard, and she won it. So yeah. And then my last one is a different one. So I went with Sharon Lokedi.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, good pick.
And she also came second in New York. And I think she's just such an underrated runner. Like, she's always pulling up at these really challenging courses. And it's always between like her and Obiri, I feel like, in these hard courses. But I think she's just so underrated, but she's so consistent and she's really good on those challenging courses. And yeah, she ran 2:17:22 in Boston. And she also ran a 65-minute half marathon in Copenhagen as well this year, just to note. Not that that was her biggest performance, but I mean, yeah, I think she's just a world-class marathon runner. So
good pick. Good, like kind of like a little bit of a dark horse pick. You know, because Boston is so much in the rear view from the springtime, it's easy to forget that she set a big course record in Boston and really dominated that race, and then was like right in there in New York as well. And I believe ran quite a bit under the course record time in New York, except Obiri took the record because she was first. Yeah. So
2:20 in New York. Yeah.
My picks are, it's a bit chalk of me here, but it is what it is. Faith Kipyegon, Beatrice Chebet, and then my third pick is Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone as well. I just think that it's really underrated to be able to effectively change, not wildly change disciplines, but to move from the hurdles to the straight 400. You just don't see that very often. And to dominate in the straight 400 is incredible. She's just an all-time talent at that distance. So that's my third pick. All right, Sear, who is your women's runner of the year?
Well, I can't believe that my pick was actually left out of Katelyn and Jessy's overall top 3. Beatrice Chebet, man.
Yeah.
So okay, this is what happened with me. For a while, I went down the Lokedi Obiri rabbit hole and thought I could pick one of them.
Yep.
Then I started thinking of Sifan Hassan and her consistency, and I was like, I can also choose her. But how is she different from Lokedi and Obiri? She's just done an extra marathon, but she's podiumed twice. They've podiumed twice. No one stands out between the 3 of them as much better than the other 2. That means maybe I should be looking somewhere else. And then I fixated myself on the Kipyegon-Chebet rivalry that electrified the World Athletics Championships. And I had a really tough time not choosing Kipyegon because now that when we're talking about athletes who've done a lot for the sport, the Connor Mantz, the Eliud Kipchoge type of thinking and narrative, Kipyegon was totally that as well. She was the face of the next frontier of women's track running this year. And she took that pressure well. The mandate that she was given felt like still a little bit out of reach for this time in human history. She still showed up. She came back from it. She set her own records on the track. And then when Worlds came about, it was Kipyegon for the 1500, Chebet for the 10,000, and then the two facing off in the ultimate 5,000 meters. And I had my money on Kipyegon, and Chebet proved me wrong. She showed me that she's the best runner in the world this year. And not to mention, we got a woman going sub 14, okay? 13:58. She's the first woman in history to do so. We were all worried about the sub 4 mile. No one bothered to think about sub 14, which is incredibly impressive. So Kipyegon gets my, hats off, but Chebet gets it for me.
Compelling argument indeed. Sub 14 minute 5K. That's bananas. Katelyn, who is your selection for women's runner of the year overall?
I feel like I'm so going to be able to be swayed after, because these arguments are really, really good. But if I have to choose from my list for the first one, and then we're going to have to sway in a way, Alex has a really good argument there. Okay. From my list, I'm going to go with Assefa, because I just feel like her women-only world record in London is just showing that she is just still up to that world. She's breaking world records. She's breaking world records as well, and just in the marathon distance. And I just know that we haven't seen the last of her, and I want her. I just feel like she deserves it, and I feel like yes, she came in second in the World Championships, but it was so close. And I know that, close isn't the win, but she still got silver there. And I feel like breaking that world record for me just was the icing on the cake. And so I'm going to stick. I'm the only one who put Assefa on the list. So I know I'm going to be outnumbered, but I'm going to put Assefa as my female runner of the year.
Assefa's a great pick. And I'm a big Assefa fan. And I don't think we should discount the fact that she won a marathon major and set a world record, which is no small feat, and then also followed that up with running world championships and finishing in a very, very close second place. So that's not nothing for sure. Jessy, who you got?
Okay. So Sifan Hassan made my list because she had that emotional tear in me, She did great things, but she had that emotional pull on me. So then it really came down to Lokedi and Kipyegon. And I love an underdog, a dark horse story. I love it. I love seeing, someone rise up. And that makes me really want to pick Lokedi. But I just can't get over what Faith Kipyegon did this year. From breaking 4 to setting her world record to her performance at World Championships. It just, I just can't. It doesn't beat it does beat an underdog story. So my pick is Faith Kipyegon.
So basically, unless Michael picks Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, he's giving one of our gals the win. This is going to Chebet or Kipyegon here.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, and they are both finalists for me as well. I am going to select.
You have all the power, Michael.
I feel like I'm picking the first pick in the draft here.
Yep.
Number 1 pick in the draft, the New England Patriots select. No, I'm going to pick. This is easy. It's Faith Kipyegon. It has to be. Yeah. It has to be because, breaking 4 was insane. The fact that she went through this entire process, she basically took the running world on her back for the month of June and then went through this incredible experience, this ridiculous experience, this spectacle, the amount of pressure on her. And then she also followed. Okay, so first of all, she ran 4:06.91. Nike, of course, rounded it down to 4:06.42 because they
91.
Subtracted her reaction time at the start. But she ran 4:06 something, which is the fastest mile time in history. Yes, that's almost 7 seconds off the sub-4 barrier, which is what she was initially aiming for. But you have to take all of this into like greater perspective, which is to say, like, she went through this entire process and she ran an incredible performance in that process. And also, I think there's extreme value in how much she amplified running overall, women's running, and track and field specifically. A subdivision of running that needs a little bit of help. Let's be honest. It needs a little bit of help. So I think she put track and middle distance running on the map and got a lot of people interested based on her story and based on the narrative that her and Nike kind of crafted around this. But then she followed that up with a 1,500 meter world record, like 10 days later, which I think is the performance of the year. It is the singular performance of the year. If you're to select one performance of the year, I think it's down to her and Sawe on the men's side in Berlin. I think those are the two signature of events of the year that will stand in my mind. Is like, when you think about 2025, yes, the World Championships had two very exciting sprint finishes for the gold medal. And those are really cool Instagram clips. But I think about just overall performances, it's Kipyegon's 1,500 meter world record is right up there, I think. And then, of course, to follow that up with owning the 1,500 in the World Championships, and then a very admirable silver up against really the greatest 5,000 meter runner in the world history, maybe Beatrice Chebet. That is a 2025 that is uncomparable on the women's side. So I am voting for Faith Kipyegon for Women's Runner of the Year.
Okay. I again concede. It was, okay, fine. It was tough. It was tough to choose between the two. I'm more comfortable conceding to Faith Kipyegon than I am to our poor old friend Connor Mantz, who also had a fantastic year.
Poor Connor Mantz.
But I'll tell you one thing. Do not Chebet against Beatrice in 2026.
Oh, look what he did there. Wow.
I've been thinking about that one.
Okay,
for a good while.
So that well done, sir. Our women's runner of the year pick is near unanimous. It's Faith Kipyegon. I think it's an easy one. Interestingly enough, the governing body of the sport, World Athletics, doesn't even have her as a finalist for their World Athlete of the Year.
Yeah, that was
mind blowing.
Yeah, that's true.
We should say that we were in part inspired to right the wrong of World Athletics in doing our picks here, and I think we've done at least we've done a good job on the women's side. So, no, Connor Mantz. I like it. I've talked myself into it. I'm comfortable with it. He's amazing, and it was an amazing year for him. A couple other ones here. We didn't do specifically trail or ultra trail runner of the year or track runner of the year, but just to throw a couple names out there. Trail was interesting. Like last year, our overall runner of the year, men's, women's, just runner of the year was Jasmine Paris for what she did at the Barkley Marathons. It just was the story that just dominated the headlines, and she was a really transcendent figure in running, I'd say, in 2024. This year, we didn't really see anything that I'd say Katelyn Tocci might. Poor Katelyn, like what an incredible performance that was, and it's sort of getting lost in the sauce a little bit. But Katelyn Tocci is, I would say, probably had like the best ultra trail performance, or at least.
Oh yeah, I would definitely have him trail runner of the year for sure.
Katie Scheid, the American ultra runner, she won Hard Rock and the World Championships. Abby Hall won Western States. Then on the men's side, you've got Jim Walmsley. He took the 50K OCC at UTMB and World Championships as well. Can't forget Tom Evans, who won the big race at UTMB. Ruth Croft won the big race at UTMB as well. And Caleb Olson also had a big standout performance at Western States. Those are, I'd say, sort of some names to keep in mind in the ultra trail scene.
And Ludo at Hard Rock. Don't forget about Ludo.
And on the track, if we were to do like a specific track runner of the year, I mean, obviously Faith Kipyegon probably takes the cake there, or Chebet on the women's side, maybe even Sydney McLaughlin-Laveron. Men's side, a name we didn't have as a finalist, Emmanuel Wanyoni, the 800-meter runner who won world championships.
Mm-hmm.
And then also poor Grand Slam track league, huh? Just how do you how do you qualify, like where do Grand Slam track league performances fit in all of this thinking, right? Kind of messy.
I factored them in. They were races like the fact that Michael Johnson couldn't quite get the investors lined up shouldn't impact how we see the athletes' performances, I suppose. Which was a big one for Wanyonyi. Jimmy Gressier, so should mention the French 10,000 world 10,000 meter champion and then 5,000 meter silver medalist who kind of came out of nowhere. He was a huge dark horse in these races to kind of dominate things on the track. Also, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, if we're factoring in sprints as well, just absolutely tore the sprint world apart, winning double gold in the 100 and 200.
I think we should also mention
select
Grant
an overall
Fisher.
runner.
I love Grant Fisher. Yes, Jessy. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
He had a good, especially indoor.
Huge indoor season. Yeah. True.
Excellent.
Overall runner of the year, like if we were just to have one name like we did last year with Jasmine Paris, who's the overall, who is 2025 in running? Alex, who's your pick for overall?
Following this conversation, Faith Kipyegon. I think on paper, Jacob Kiplimo was the most effective and impressive athlete, but I think on a more holistic level, on a more conversational level, on a more what did you do for the sport this year type of level, Faith Kipyegon gets it for me.
You guys agree with that? I agree with that. I think she's probably the overall, like, I think when I think 2025, I think it's the year of Faith Kipyegon. Is it any disagreement there?
Yeah. I mean, if we change the rules a little bit and we think like just performance based, then I would give it to Sebastian Sawe. Sebastian Sawe, sorry. I would give it to Sebastian Sawe.
It sounds nicer when you say it that way.
I'm sorry. But I feel like if I had to choose performance based, I would just choose him. And it was just showing us, what the future holds and just two incredible performances. So if I take out that kind of, what they're all also giving to the sport on a different level, because Faith Kipyegon, yes, amazing. I agree with you guys 100%. But if even just to throw another wrench in the works, if we're thinking just performance, I would give it to Sebastian Sawe.
Jessy, your overall runner of the year?
Yeah, I agree with Faith Kipyegon, but I also agree with Katelyn that it's hard because we have that kind of subjective piece in there that if you look at it just from performance, it's definitely Sebastian Sawe because no one tops that. And I think, the future is bright with him, especially after Berlin. But overall, from what we've discussed, I would say Faith Kipyegon.
2025, the year that we all had faith. Okay.
Nice.
Let us know, audience members, let us know who your picks are. We want to know who your picks are. Put them in the comments. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify or watching on Spotify, you can actually add comments and you can add them in real time and they'll timestamp where it is that you're commenting on our thoughts. I should have said this at the top of the podcast. Why am I saying this now? But it's a kind of a neat feature that they recently rolled into that platform as well. Give us a rating and review on the podcast platform that you are listening to us with. It helps us connect with other runners like yourself. Subscribe to our newsletter. There's a link in the show notes, or it's at marathonhandbook.com/newsletter. It goes out every single day of the week. It also pushes out a notification for when this podcast drops, usually every Thursday at around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Our YouTube channel is afire. We've got, a slew of content coming out right now. Alex and I were just at the Marathon Handbook testing lab, cooking up a crazy video that should come out within the next week or so. But in the meantime, so those 3 ASICS Super shoes, we just did a video. Alex, you just did a comparison video. In October, Katelyn was in town in Toronto. The 3 of us went out and we watched Alex run 3 very, very impressive sub 5-minute miles in the 3 different ASICS Super shoes to figure out which one's the one. What's the one you should be buying? What the difference is between the 3 of them as well. So there's a video on that. That's on our YouTube channel right now. So subscribe to our YouTube channel for also getting a video version of this podcast every week and a lot more stuff. All right, gang. Thank you so much for your picks. Thanks for joining us. And we'll all be together in person in 2 weeks' time. We'll be in San Antonio, Texas for the running event. See you then.
Yes.
Yay.
Can't wait for that.
Me too.
Bye.
Bye.